Have you ever felt like you were being watched, even when you were certain you were alone? That's exactly how I felt that night in the woods, miles away from civilization. What started as a peaceful camping trip with friends quickly turned into a nightmare I'll never forget. It was supposed to be a simple weekend getaway. My friends and I, Josh, Roman, and Ryal, decided to escape the chaos of city life and reconnect with nature. We found this secluded spot deep in the woods, far from any trail or campsite, where we could truly be alone. Or so we thought. We set up our tents, built a fire, and spent the evening sharing stories and laughing under the stars. The night was perfect. Crisp air, a sky full of stars, and the soft rustling of leaves in the breeze. But as the fire died down and the others retreated to their tents, an uneasy feeling settled over me. I couldn't shake the sense that something was wrong. It was the kind of unease that prickles the back of your neck and makes your heart race for no apparent reason. I tried to convince myself it was just the eerie quiet of the woods at night, but I knew deep down that it was more than that. Unable to sleep, I sat by the dying embers of the fire, listening to the sounds of the forest. That's when I heard it, a faint rustling like footsteps in the underbrush. My first thought was that it could be a deer or some other animal, but the sound was too deliberate, too human. I grabbed my flashlight and pointed it toward the trees, but the beam only revealed the dense, dark woods beyond. I called out, thinking it might be another camper, but there was no response. Just the same unnerving rustling, closer now. Panic set in as I realized whatever, or whoever, was out there wasn't responding because they didn't want to be seen. I woke up Josh, and he immediately sensed my fear. Together, we tried to locate the source of the sound, but every time we thought we were getting close, it would stop, only to start again from a different direction. We returned to camp, hoping it was all just our imaginations playing tricks on us. But as we reached the edge of the clearing, the sight that greeted us stopped us in our tracks. One of our tents was open, its contents strewn about as if someone had been searching through it. A cold dread washed over us. Roman and Ryal emerged from their tent, confused and frightened by the commotion. As we frantically checked our belongings, we realized that nothing was missing, but the implication was clear. Someone or something had been inside our camp while we were out searching the woods. And then we heard it again. This time, the sound was unmistakable. Heavy, deliberate footsteps crunching on the forest floor, heading straight toward us. I shined my flashlight toward the sound, and for a brief moment, I caught a glimpse of something that made my blood run cold. A figure, just at the edge of the light, tall and gaunt, watching us with eyes that seemed to glow in the darkness. In that instant, our fight-or-flight instincts kicked in. We grabbed whatever we could carry and bolted for the car, the sound of footsteps now in pursuit. The woods seemed to close in around us as we ran, branches whipping against our faces, the once peaceful forest now a terrifying maze. We reached the car, breathless and shaking, and sped down the dirt road, not daring to look back. The entire drive back to the city, none of us spoke a word. The silence was filled with the unspoken fear that whatever we had encountered wasn't far behind. It took days for us to fully comprehend what had happened that night. We tried to rationalize it, but deep down, we all knew the truth. Something was out there, something that didn't want us there, and it had made that very clear. None of us have gone camping since. That trip was supposed to be an escape from the hustle and bustle of life. But instead, it became a reminder that sometimes the wilderness isn't as empty as it seems. I don't know what we encountered that night, but I do know that I never want to experience that kind of terror again. If you ever find yourself camping in the woods, miles away from civilization, remember this story. Listen to your instincts, and if something feels off, trust that feeling. Because out there, in the darkness, you might not be as alone